In the media, you will find that people often conflate issues. However, there are times when issues appropriately tie together. And this is one of those times. People often are expressing concern about violence, bullying, and especially gun violence in schools. While this concern is being expressed, even by legislative bodies, those same bodies, time and time again, have cut funding for teachers, have cut funding for schools, have cut funding for supplies, and have cut funding for programs. So, music and art are being eliminated at times from schools. Schools, occasionally to meet budgets, are having to open 4 days a week instead of 5. Schools are the hope of the children, and the children are the hope of the future. Children are the future of this country. So, we tell you it is ultimately necessary that funding be made available for schools, that funding be made available for teachers, that funding be made available for supplies. Because when you say, oh, education is important, and then cut funding, the message you are ultimately giving to the children in schools is that they do not matter. You want to know why gun violence has increased in your schools? Gun violence has increased because you, by your actions, have told children that they do not matter, when you have lipped the words of how important their education is. Children go to schools where the roofs leak, where the heating systems do not work, where the books are ragged and torn, and where the teachers have to worry about things other than just educating the children. And the children understand that you, as politicians, are saying they are not important. They are understanding that society is not offering them a true hope for tomorrow. They are living in hopelessness with tattered books and ragged educational system. They are looking at tomorrow and saying, what kind of a world will we have when people do not care about the environment? They borrow against us to keep their economy going, and they destroy resources for their own personal gain, and they destroy our world, the world of tomorrow. And you wonder why there is violence in school. We tell you that violence is a direct result of the hopelessness that you have instilled upon those schools, that you have crushed the children with in your greed. Children need more than video games. They need more than televisions. They need parents. And they need hope. Hope that tomorrow will really be theirs. Hope that there will be a world left for them. But when you tell them that they are second-rate citizens and that they do not deserve a good education, and that if they are to get a good education after they have struggled through their basic education, that they must then go in debt deeply. If you tell children this is all that they are worth, how do you expect them to develop a sense of self-worth and respect for their own beings? It is you greedy people, you greedy people who would rather have a small bit back in tax and see your children's educations destroyed. That is the primary cause of the gun violence you are seeing. Video games desensitize children. Some televisions and movies not only desensitize, but they also plant terrible subconscious ideas. So there are other causes. And then there is the terrible parenting error of saying constantly, what happens to little Johnny? What happens to little Janie isn't fair. Oh, poor child. Children need to learn to succeed, and they need to learn to fail. And they need to learn that life is not fair. So, if something doesn't seem fair, they do not think, oh, life is hopeless because it all is supposed to be fair. It has never been supposed to be fair, and it isn't fair. So, teach your children the realities of the world and invest in them. They need your support and love, and they need to know that they are worth having a book that isn't 20 years old. They need to know that they are worth a history book that isn't living history itself. They need to know that their math books are actually up to date, that they will not be learning formulas that are already outdated. They need to know that their science books are actually scientific and not middle-aged gibberish, because they couldn't have new books bought because you wanted more money back in your taxes. Oh, 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 you greedy, greedy people. You are destroying your children. You are denying them a quality education. And you are creating the hopelessness that is causing school shootings. Look in the mirror. Because you drive what the legislatures of your local area choose to do. And legislatures, look in the mirror while you talk about these school shootings and what should be done. Does not matter what you do to stop violence if you continue to create hopelessness by refusing to invest in children. So, ultimately, it is your fault. And you won't stop it by controlling guns, because there is always a way for a hopeless person to do damage, even if it means blowing the self up to hurt others. You must end the hopelessness that you are continually instilling. But no, you're increasing that hopelessness by using division that pits culture against culture, race against race, and religion against religion for political advantage. You are creating the hopelessness that is driving school violence. It is a shame. May God forgive you in the world to come, because there will come a time when no one will forgive you in this world. We leave you with blessings and with peace. Peace be with you.